Greetings, magical mages and spiritual sages. This is Age of the Mage podcast, and we're on episode 55. And today I'd like to just share a brief springtime message with you. It is Easter, it is Ostara, it's time for these types of energies for us as magicians, as spiritual people, as people who really love to dwell in the mysteries and the liminal spaces between here and there, right? There's no more appropriate time to celebrate the liminal than around the time of Ostara, the equinox, this transitional space between winter and summer. So it's so appropriate to share with each other some of these elements of this time of year and this spirit that is prominent in this time of year. Let's just take a minute to think about the story and some of the symbolism of the Easter story. And we know in the Christian faith that Christ is considered dead and gone and is buried in a tomb. And over the course of these 3 days, he rises, he comes back to life. So I know I'm skipping many details, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. And also we can think about the energy of springtime when we see all our trees, or winter to spring, when we see our trees go barren in the winter. Now, if you didn't know better, you would think those trees have died. You would think they are gone. They are no longer of this world. But because we live here and we observe these transitions, we come to know that they're going to come back to life, at least most of them. If they're healthy, they come back to life throughout the springtime and are in their full glory again by summer. And so we see a recurring and very strong theme tied to earth religions, earth magic, the calendar itself, the seasons. We see the theme of this re-emerging from a dark place, darkness coming into light, death coming back to life. All right, so we just want to get on that page for a minute and realize that energy is surrounding us at this time. As magicians, we even know that the collective thoughts around the world will affect our etheric grid, and those, even if we don't share every type of thought, every interpretation of this time, even if we have our own ideas about it and what it means to us, we are still connected to this web of life, and we do still absorb some of these major etheric thought forms, thought constructs that exist in our societies around the world. And so once again, we see more and more people contributing to this energy through their beliefs about rebirth at this time. So this is a powerful time to take advantage of that energy as magicians, as spiritual people, and work a little bit with it. And that's my Easter wish. That's my Ostara message for this time of year to you, dear audience. So I'd like every one of you to realize that this energy is not about necessarily creating something from scratch, is it? If we look at the parables, the stories, the myths, and those kinds of things that go along with this time and this season and this equinox time, this shifting, this liminal space, we tend to be seeing rebirth or something re-emerging that was here before and now can be here again. And that's a little bit different than, I'm just going to create something out of the blue and start running with it. And that's wonderful too, completely appropriate in springtime as well. But specifically for this very special weekend and this time that we're in right now, as a globe, as a global race, as Earth humans, putting all this energy into various forms about this season, we can really zero in on it and say, all right, it's about rebirth. So I have a very simple exercise to share with you. This is a time that we can take advantage of all that energy swirling around and move into action with it. So what I'd like you to do when you have some time is just do a little bit of relaxation. It's nothing fancy, just might take a few minutes. Just relax, take some deep breaths, do whatever you do whenever you're going to approach a visualization, and this will be very short. And I want you to just imagine walking into a cave, and the cave is very dark. It's not threatening, it's not scary in any way, but once you are fully relaxed and you're sitting or lying and just get some time to yourself, enter into this cave. And just look around and realize it's dark in there. There's not much light. There's not too much to see. But you're not frightened in any way. Now, while you are in this cave, things are going to happen. You are going to be led through your imagination on what to do next. Will you discover that you brought a flashlight with you, and you'll pull that flashlight out and shine a light on your surroundings, and what will you see? Or will you find that there is a torch farther down in a little corner of this cave, and as you lift that torch off the wall, it lights up? Or will you continue to be in this cave and just sit in silence and let the darkness surround you? It is entirely, this journey is up to you and your imagination, but you will spend just a few minutes in this cave. Now, what's the purpose? Well, we want to do something that's representative of moving from darkness to light. And we also want to invite something within us to re-emerge. Something we would like to work on over the next few months. Something we might have neglected about ourselves. And we'd like to bring it back to life. This could be anything. And it will be so many different things for each one of us, isn't it? Because some of us might have a need to let a very mundane element reemerge in our life. Perhaps we've gotten off schedule and we have neglected a certain part of our garden or our house or our family care or whatever the case may be. And we decide, and that's what comes to us in the stillness of this cave. We see memories or flashes or something. And as we're watching things unfold in this cave in our mind's eye, as we watch these things unfold, it might trigger what it is that's trying to reemerge for you. And some of this might be very mundane, and that's perfectly appropriate if that's what surfaces. Another thing that could happen is you might be sitting in this cave and a thought may come to you. Perhaps a part that's been hidden about you and your spirit, your soul work, or your magic work that has been kind of hidden. And it's been there all along, but you haven't really developed it or worked with it or even honored it, so to speak. Maybe that's what comes to your mind. Maybe you see an animal form and that animal begins to talk to you. This could mean dozens of things. And it will mean different things to different people, right? Because maybe that's a sign to one person that they have the gift of animal communication and that this is what's trying to emerge, trying to be developed, trying to re-emerge and come out from being hidden and be worked with in the light. But maybe it's a signal to someone else that that animal has a message for them, like a totem or power animal would. Maybe to someone else it is a familiar sign and they know that deep down they have the gifts of the shaman and that this animal is going to become a companion and going to help them come out with these gifts they naturally have and perhaps have been neglecting or not even knowing exist on some level. So anything that occurs while you're in this little cave or big cave, it's up to you and your imagination. Anything that occurs is a clue. And guess what? The clues are always in you. The clue is in you. But sometimes we need a stage. We need somewhere to invite those clues to show up because they can get locked down inside us. They can stay so internal that we never see them. So this moving into this cave, moving into this blank, empty space that's giving you a chance to just sit a while and see what comes up, comes out, shows up in this space, is inviting a clue from the inside of you to emerge on the outside. That's all we're doing. And if you sit for a few minutes with an open mind and the willingness to let this happen in this very special time where all the energies around the world are supporting and believing in the possibility of the miracles that are associated with things moving out of darkness into light, with things that we thought were dead reemerging, with hope. When we sit with that energy all around us and we allow that to be part of this little exercise, big things can happen. Wonderful things can start to happen. This can open up one of those zones of synchronicity that people love to be experiencing. So whatever comes up for you, I want you also to feel completely free to do with what happens when something comes up. You're free to do with that what you will. If you say, oh, that's right, I have a project and I've been delaying, and that's what's popping up is that I get back on that project, but that's just not, I don't feel like I want to do that right now. Tuck that away again. Go ahead, tuck it away for later and sit in the cave a little longer and see what else comes up. This is about you. This is about you communicating with the deepest parts of you. There's no rules, there's no boundaries. This is about you saying, okay, I get it. Yeah, I see that clue. But yeah, I'm not in the mood for that right now. That's okay too. Move on, move on. Go through a few things if it takes 3-4 things that come up. Go ahead, move through them. If those are not catching, if those aren't lighting a spark and feeling like now's the time for me to reconnect with that, that's okay. Tuck them away. They'll come up later. You can do this again. You can do this as many times as you want. Move on through this exercise until something comes in to your consciousness in whatever way this happens. Allow these things to come in any way that they do, whether it shows up like a cave painting or a slideshow on the walls of the cave, or whether it simply comes as a thought to you as you're in this cave. That should kind of stay a little bit dim. You're kind of in the birthing process in there, and we want to just relax and have a nice little dimly lit space to let things emerge into. This might be a thought, and only a thought. It may be a sensation, a feeling, an emotion. Follow it just as far as you need to get the aha moment, to catch the spark and say, oh, I would like to finish that, or oh, I would like to start working on that. I remember feeling strongly about that a few years ago. I'd like to do that now. I have time. Whatever that is that comes forward, that's what we're going to carry out with us from the cave today, on the day you do this. And we're going to let it bask in the sunshine of early spring and hope and new beginnings. So take that thought, take that idea right outside with you. Just imagine walking outside the cave, wherever it may be, into one of your favorite settings. Is it waterfalls and rivers? Is it mountaintops? Is it a wide open meadow? Emerge out into a space that you just naturally love. And just sit in that kind of sunny warmth for a moment. And take this thought, take this item, take whatever has come to you as something that would like to reemerge in your life at this time. Take that and just hold it in the sunshine. If you even want to imagine yourself holding what it is in front of you so you can see it outside of yourself, maybe as a cluster of words, maybe as an Easter egg, maybe as something you're going to give birth to and let come forward into your life again. Just sit with it at a moment and imagine the sun hitting it and shining its light on this and including you in this new construct, merging you with this talent or job or new kind of practice or development, idea, whatever it is that has occurred to you. See yourself sitting with it inside of a protected bubble where the two of you can grow and work together to bring this about and let it come out at once again. This is my wish for us. It's a quick little reminder of the kind of ways we can harness natural energies all around us And right now is the time to do this. And it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. And please share if you'd like, share comments, share feelings, what comes up for you. I will be doing it myself as well today. And we'll see what happens. All of us have something. All of us have a few things tucked down deep that we might like to work with, that we might like to give some more power to, that we might like to shine some light on. And this is my wish for us all, that we'll be able to reconnect with one of those things and let it emerge and let it come into our lives in ways that we want it to. We are the designers of how this will emerge. We can remain in control. We can work with this in joy. And these are my wishes, and I will return again shortly. But I will say, happy spring and goodbye for now.